Hey everybody, welcome back to Jeff Also Cooks, and we are wrapping up the month of December with, of course, a Christmas turkey. So, every good turkey starts with compound butter. Get yourself half a pound of butter, a tablespoon of lemon juice, some freshly ground pepper, a few sprigs of fresh parsley, and 2 or 3 cloves of freshly crushed garlic. If you don't have a garlic crusher like me, dice up your garlic pretty fine, sprinkle on some coarse kosher salt, and rub your knife on it until you get crushed garlic. Boom! Now for the main event. Separate the skin from the flesh of the turkey using your fingers very gently so you don't rip the skin, and then start putting your compound butter underneath the skin, making sure you get it all over the place, spread it out. This is going to keep your bird nice and moist. After that, cut an onion into quarters, stuff it into the cavity, along with a few pieces of garlic. Drizzle some olive oil over your bird. Add a nice little mirepoix, which is just celery, onion, and carrot. And before you forget, add a few sprigs of fresh thyme into the cavity. Now, get that into an oven at 450 degrees for about 25 minutes until the skin just starts to brown. In the meantime, you can get started on the stuffing. So, go ahead and cube about half a loaf of white bread, 1 whole onion, and some celery. Mix that all up along with some kosher salt, freshly ground pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and ground rosemary. Give it a mix and set it aside while you take out your turkey. Now lower the heat on your oven to 325 and start layering some streaky, smoky bacon on top of your turkey. This is going to do 2 things. This is going to add a very nice flavor and keep your turkey moist throughout the cooking. Wrap up the sensitive bits like the wings and the legs with some tin foil to keep them from burning. Get it back in the oven for half an hour per kilo until you have something resembling this. Let it rest. Now, I know this is going to sound weird, but let this rest for as long as you cooked it. So if you cooked it for 3 hours, you let it rest for 3 hours. We're going to be serving this with hot gravy, so we're not super worried about it cooling down too much. Now that the turkey's out of the oven, we can put our stuffing in. So chop up a few pieces of butter and sprinkle them on top of your stuffing in a non-stick pan, and then add some cooking juices into the stuffing until it is all soaked pretty well. Cover and put it in the oven at 350 until the internal temperature is over 165. It should be nice and browned at that point. Now for a very optional step, I like to make roasted garlic mashed potatoes. So to roast some garlic, all you have to do is cut the top off of a bulb of garlic, pour some olive oil over it, add kosher salt, and then wrap it tightly in tin foil. Throw that in the oven with your stuffing. Now the hard part's not over. Now you need to cut up some Brussels sprouts because we are going to be serving that as a side. So go ahead, start chopping, hand a beer to someone off camera. That step is actually pretty required. It is the holidays. Spread the love. Once that's in some salted water, get it on the stove and start peeling your potatoes. This part, obviously very simple. Peel your potatoes, get them into some water, get both the Brussels sprouts and the potatoes on the boil. This all has to come out at the same time. Now to continue on the Brussels sprout train, get some bacon into a pan, start rendering it out. Once the Brussels sprouts are cooked, drain them, get them into the pan with the bacon, and cook until browned. Now call me weird, but I don't like dinner rolls with my turkey. I like Yorkshire pudding, so I'm gonna be making that. It's super easy. You are going to mix 4 eggs, a hefty pinch of kosher salt, 1.25 cups of white flour, and 3/4 cups of milk. Mix that all together and let it sit at room temperature for about 20 minutes, which will give you enough time to get the muffin tray ready. So into your muffin tray, add about a teaspoon of canola oil and a teaspoon of bacon fat. Really, you can use just straight oil. I happen to like adding bacon fat. Duck fat would work. Beef drippings would also work phenomenally. And get that into a hot oven on the bottom rack until it is smoking. The oven should be about 400 degrees. Once the muffin tray is smoking, you take it out and pour your Yorkshire pudding mixture into it. Do this fast. You want this to remain as hot as possible. Fill each muffin tray whole thing about halfway up with your mixture and get that back into the oven ASAP until it's quadrupled in size. Now the mashed potatoes are obviously pretty self-explanatory. Get your roasted garlic and squeeze the bulb into your potatoes. Add in some butter, milk, salt, and pepper to taste and mash it up good. We're almost at the end here, you can tell because I'm drinking wine and there's about 500,000 dishes in the room. Now I know a lot of people are going to make their own cranberry sauce around the holidays. I don't do that. I grew up on canned cranberry sauce. You can tell it's a little hard to get it out of the can, but it is absolutely delicious, if not a little weird to look at. And with that, we have our holiday feast ready for everyone. I want to take this opportunity to say thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you get to spend the holidays with the people you love. and you get to make them something like this. So on that note, happy holidays, and I'll see you all next year.